Everyone has been hyping up Caleb Williams. And after everything we've seen this offseason, I'm here to tell you the hype is absolutely justified.
Basically, with Caleb on that piece, what are you able to cut through with him now than you weren't able to? I know it's not fundamental, you're not going to skip those things, but maybe communication or what type of things can you kind of cut through with him now that you weren't able to last year?
Well, I mean, we were, I think you guys saw it, we struggled to break the huddle at times last year in the spring and in training camp. And, like I said, one day down, but we didn't have that issue. So the communication in the huddle, what it looks like to break the huddle, the urgency to the line of scrimmage, the tempo that we want to stress the defense with. The quarterback plays a huge part in that. He orchestrates the whole operation, and those guys have taken that to heart. And so from that aspect, feel really good about where we're at. Now it's the next level of each concept. What are we trying to do? And
So, my apologies, I had to clear my voice. We already gave you backdrop to how Caleb has been expected to take the ascent, take the next step, and in the start of this OTA, because this is the beginning presser for Ben, it speaks to how his expectations of Caleb and the offense as a whole has increased. Not to mention that he's already seen the improvement because of the lack of things that happened last year as far as pre-snap penalties, not knowing where to be, route running on air as he speaks about, and so on and so forth. And so those types of things give you the indication that he is a bit ahead, or we as a unit are a bit ahead of the things that they needed to be last year. So it tells you already that it's been growth from last year's training camp to this year's training camp. It's important to understand that we talk all the time about letting the development of things go. And oftentimes we, in my estimation, overlook development of player and everything else like that simply because I think we kind of, what's the word? We assume that it's status quo running the mill when we talk about player development based on the previous regimes that the Bears have had run the program, run the franchise. And so if you think about it from the expectation of a competent coach that knows what he's doing, knows how to get the most out of players, and knows what the expectation of said player could be, a year later, he has, in my estimation, defined the outline for what he expects. He has been able to have a individualized treatment plan, if you will, an address for each individual resident, i.e., the player. And I think that those things in themselves they gave him a goal or a job to do outside of his teachings for the off season. And I think that that gave us a bit of a leg up. Training wheels off this year. And I think that the team on the whole is ready to ride. And the recap that they got from the end of training camp was, end quote, that Ben talked to the players this morning and he feels they really accomplished a lot in terms of the goals they set out: strength and conditioning, techniques, fundamentals, scheme installation, and then some situational football. He called the group, end quote, a really hardworking group that takes it very seriously and very professional. Words that you want to see to be utilized, especially when he talked about it on the whole, it has to be talked about that that is inclusive to the rookies as well. And the critiques will be there for the team improvement, but I'm sure he gave them homework assignments for what can I say, this year, as far as these 6 weeks go, because the mentality shift that is year two, it's not celebrating 2025, but it's building upon it. You understand? And so I think that we can be locked in on the team because they know what's at stake. We as a fan, I think expectation wise, get hungrier every season the more you accomplish. And I think that in itself makes sure that the Bears players knows that last year was a standard, not a ceiling. And we got to do, as fans, our part to be able to see the totality of the picture that's being painted